Hey guys, I'm back with another video. Today we're doing What If Naruto had bone release, and I'm gonna tell you he's gonna be more like Wolverine in some factors of it, but he's not gonna be animalistic. He's gonna have a calm personality, and he's gonna be like Kimamaru, a blend between Kimamaru and Wolverine, which I find he's basically Wolverine with a better bone ability, because remember Wolverine can like extend his bones into claws, but Wolverine has another ability where he could make his bones into where his bones are where his bones were turned into antimantium, which is a combination of vibranium and some vibranium and Captain America's shield, a spaceship, whatever it was. It was a mixture between those. I think it was three things, but in the comics that what it was, but I don't know what they did in Marvel, the reboot of it. So I can't remember what it did. But anyways, so this is actually gonna be 18 only or 18 plus. Cause to be honest, Kimimaru, he's Mr. Steal Your Girl No Homo though. This man could steal your girl, and that's no cap. So this is gonna be an 18 only, so he's Naruto's gonna like look like Kimimaru, but not look like Kimimaru. This is gonna be a meh. And Kimimaru is gonna have a sister named Kimimaru, and she's gonna be a female. So like, if you understand that part, you understand where I'm going with this. We revitalized the Kaguya clan, if you know what I mean. But anyways, let's get started with this. What if? We started with it with what if at Naruto on the ground. Sasuke just up there, just not giving a flying fuck about Naruto. He's there fighting Haku. But Naruto is somewhere else. Naruto took the Senbon for Sasuke this time, and Sasuke was the one that was weak, and Naruto saved Sasuke, but Sasuke didn't care and just went on to fight and didn't really do anything. This apprehended him into. He did unlock his Tutomoy, but he unlocked his Tutomoy before this. So Tutomoy in one eye, and one Tomoy in one eye, and other. Sorry, but Naruto's somewhere else. He's in his mindscape, but not where Kurama is. He's looking at a planet. Remember how Kushina's seal was, where there was this big rock in a planet size? Yeah, it looks like that. Naruto's in there and he can see himself, but himself had white hair and his hair was like Minato's. His other self was taller and I had abs, and he was also naked, but had abs. His muscle texture was stronger. The only reason he could tell it was supposed to be him was his whiskers, which was exactly like him. The other Naruto then said that he is his Keke Genkai embodiment. Well, I am you. You see, when you're sleeping, I wake up. When you didn't learn, I learned. When you didn't train, I trained. When you didn't understand, I understood. When you weren't training your Keke Genkai, I was. When you weren't learning Jutsu for your Keke Genkai, I was. Naruto. Being in this life or death situation, you were sent to where I was. You can release me and I can help you. Well, we will permanently fuse, and it will affect your emotions. And I was once a part of you, but when you were a child, the civilian council put a seal on you, so it would kill you slowly. But the person that was doing the seal did not know nothing what he was doing, and he just sealed your Kekkei and some of your personality, leaving you a big bundle of joy and no control of your chakra. I have control over chakra, but that's why you don't have any. And I have all two of your Kekkei Genkai, Born Release and Uzumaki Chains. I'm gonna give you a refresher and then I'm gonna send you back out. Seconds has passed on the outside, but in here, it could be hours. Let me skip outside. Haku under her mask is crying. She just killed a friend and a love interest in her eyes. But she wants to kill Sasuke because she had no care if Naruto was dead, and that was his teammate. So yeah, let's go back to Naruto. Let me tell you about our first Kekkei guy. Bone release. Bone release is where we can manipulate our bones, and our bones will replace themselves as we take them out of our bodies. So some members of our clan would have actually gotten a sickness by low calcium in their bodies, but we don't have that because of our Uzumaki heritage. So we were able to we're able to use our bone release at its full potential, unlike some of our clan members. And then, but our bone release with have undergone a mutation. We can actually get bones out of our body, yes, but the bones can turn into something else. A metal alloy called antimantium. It's really strong, as in it could cut metal like it was butter. Naruto is understanding but not understanding at the same time, but he gets the gist of it. He has cool powers that was sealed away by the council, and his emotions has been tampered with, and that's why he was always happy. All the time he wondered why he was so happy all the time. Why he really never got sad. It was because of this. But when he looked into his other's eyes, he saw they were blue like his, but it was different. It had a slit in it. Naruto asked him what was that. Oh yeah, I have been siphoning off power from the QB sometimes. They're increasing our healing ability, adding it onto our Uzumaki healing. They're giving us huge stamina, and to the point where we don't even need to sleep or eat. Well, barely need to eat. We could eat, but we don't really need food. And we can go 4 weeks without having any lashback of not sleeping. But on the 5th week, we'll start feeling sleepy. But yeah. And we also gain super strength and sight. But the most thing that has been affected are our smell. We can smell from miles away, and our sight is more like a bird sight. How bird can spot a worm from the sky to the ground, we can see that far. So Naruto sees this, and he asks for his Uzumaki, our Uzumaki heritage. All right, Uzumaki is a clan. Uzumaki is a clan that we come from. Yeah, we were under this. The Uzumaki clan was extinct. Still is the Kaguya clan of my knowledge, because I'm basically using all your knowledge. I've been going to the library. Unlike you, when you're sleeping, I take control of your body. I can't do it for too long, and I'm pretty slow when I'm doing it because of the seal. And Naruto could see that he's chained to this rock or meteor, whatever it is. Anyways, our chakra chains are, we can absorb chakra into our cells, which will help our bone Kekkei Genkai. We can wrap it around our bones so the bones will be stronger, and we can put our chains into someone so we can seal away someone's chakra permanently. Well, it will take a lot of practice to do that, but we can do it at some point in time. Naruto nods his head and says, and then this other Naruto says, "Are you ready to fuse, Naruto?" And I'm ready, Naruto. This Naruto and that Naruto bump fists, and we go back on that outside of things. Naruto's body starts to change. His hair turns white. His body starts to stretch, and his muscles start to tear, but then reattach themselves. His eyes begin to slit permanently. His tooth fangs sharpen permanently. His sight improves permanently. His abs appear on his body as on muscles, but that's not the only thing. When Naruto pushes out himself, he has a nonchalant expression on his face. He doesn't feel anything. He doesn't really care. His eyes reflect the eyes that reflect the soul. That was a saying once. But if you were to look into Naruto's eyes, Naruto doesn't care about anything if that fact goes on. Naruto doesn't feel anything, doesn't care for anything, and definitely doesn't give a fuck. Bone starts to protrude from Naruto's body, tearing off his shirt. Then they look at Naruto. Naruto's different. He has this nonchalant. His face and his eyes were always full of joy and happiness. But they aren't no more. Like, it was weird. Naruto then disappeared out of sight. He wasn't going to kill Haku, but he was gonna knock her out though. He then chopped Haku on the back of the neck, and he looked at Sasuke for a minute. Looked him up and down. With the bone still retreating out of his body, Naruto took out 3 claws out of his hands, like Wolverine's claws. But then they coat in a metal alloy, a liquid metal alloy. He was going to kill Sasuke, but then he said, I need you to become a ninja. So, he turned his back and he went off. Now, Zabuza and Kakashi are... Zabuza is dead, because Kakashi already killed him, and Haku is knocked the fuck out, so she's dead. But this is where Naruto loses it. This is where the QB comes in. A red chakra starts to emanate out of Naruto. The QB saw that Naruto's guard was down a lot, and he was able to give him some chakra. Then Gado's men appear, and as they come, they fall. Well, they gain fear of what is coming out of that bush. We see Naruto with his bones protruding out of his body, and the 3 claws. His eyes having a slit, but his eyes being red with a slit. His hair being a snow white color. His shirt being off, exposing his muscles and his muscles and his abs. With his pants being cut up and shredded, but it looks like a orange shorts now. And Naruto runs towards the mob. The people, anyways. He jumps up. He retracts the bones back into his body, and 2 bone swords that we see, like what we see Kimuraru use, come with Naruto's hands. But then a liquid alloy wraps around the bone, and it becomes an adamantium bone. Naruto jumps up and double kicks 2 people in the head, also putting out an adamantium bone into the heads and putting it out, then kicking someone in the belly. He then jumped over that person and cut off a man's head. Then jumped over that person and stabbed one of his bone swords in a person's eye. He then flips out of the way and sweep kicks one of them. Then jumps up again and shoots an adamantium bone bullets, that retreat out of the tips of his finger, and it shoots 10 people. He then flips over and slices off another one's head. Then it slides under another one, grabbing his hand at the same time and pulling it over. Then stabs his head making his head connect and breaks off the bone in his body, and his bones grow back instantly. And he stabbed the man's head to his left leg. So like yeah, he then kicks another person and then shoots the tips of his bones covered in adamantium and shoots 20 people. Then slides on with those 20 bodies and then slices off 3 people's heads at the same time. And now all of them are dead. I mean dead dead. Like they dead. They ain't coming back. Not even with Edo Tensei. Okay, that's putting it far, but eh. Then he looks at Gato. Then he was going to kill Gato, but he decides not to. I'm making Gato richer in this one, so like yeah. But Naruto finishes and he's just sitting on one of the bodies. The red chakra is still emanating from him. He told Kakashi not to come around him right now because he doesn't know if he has control over his body. So it's best not to come around him until the red chakra leaves. Kakashi understands and waits far a distance from where's Naruto. Now Naruto has a kind of a defense mode. His body reacts on its own when it feels like it's in danger and Naruto's not paying attention. If his body feels like it's in danger and his body would instantly act and try to kill the person, but when it was stopped right until if Naruto needed to analyze who it was. So yeah. Not too long, Haku wakes up and sees Zabuza's body. But Haku doesn't have as much respect for Zabuza because Zabuza did try to rip her a time, so she didn't really care. So Naruto decides to. So then Haku realizes Naruto and runs up to him, and Kakashi tries to stop her. And Naruto was just about to kill her, but when she hugged Naruto, the bones that was no his claws retracted and the red chakra faded away. She started to cry and asked if Naruto was okay. Naruto, seeing that she acted like a girl, did something risky, but he thought it wouldn't work because he actually thought she was a boy. He then took a bone and kind of sliced open her shirt to see bandages sliced. And then he saw that Haku was a girl and she saw her C cup breasts. Yeah, C cup, man. Saw them and he blushed instantly. He profusely said sorry in a calm tone though, but he said sorry a lot of times in a calm tone, which was kind of unnerving. But she understood that he thought she was a boy, but she was acting like a girl, so he just wanted to make sure. She told him that she didn't want to see she was a boy because people underestimate her that way, and she doesn't want people to underestimate her. It's disrespectful. Naruto understands, and he doesn't really care. Well, meh. They then go back to Tazuna's house with with Naruto telling Sasuke to bite his hand. Sasuke does it and he wakes up. Sakura does well. She knocked out because of the bloodlust, so because of her worthless ass, and she thought Sasuke defeated Haku and Zabuza and defeated the bridgemen. But when Kakashi said it was Naruto, she instantly stopped giving a fuck. She said they were probably weak anyways. But then Naruto said in a calm tone, which was not like him, when something was towards him, he would when it came from Sakura he would get sad, but he didn't. He just said, honestly, I don't care what you think. You're useless. What did you bring to this mission? Nothing. So I don't think your opinion matters to me. So Yeah, bye. Naruto's going out to get new clothes because his clothes cannot fit him. So he goes into the village that was fixed up. That was fixed up. But he has Gato in some ropes and some other stuff. But Naruto goes into the shop and he sees a man, a tailor. A tailor comes in and he sees Naruto. I said, "Oh Lord Naruto, what can I do for you here today?" Lord Naruto. Naruto says, "Yes," and he said, "Yes, you saved our village." Not Lord Naruto. Naruto takes it up and just says, "I," and he asks for some new clothes. Now, I'm gonna say it. Boneless kind of punctures your clothes, so Naruto has to keep buying clothes, but I don't want that. So I'm gonna improvise. This probably won't work, but a just deal with it. So Naruto goes and he tells the man what he wants is basically the shirt that Kimimaru weared, but instead of a purple rope, it's a black rope, and the tie of the rope is in front of him, not at the back of him. So you see the rope in the background and how it was tied. It's tied loose. It's tied like a karate belt instead of like a bow tie, whatever that thing is. It's tied like a karate belt or judo. I did judo, so yeah, your boy did judo as a kid. No sweat, bruh. But I'll fuck you up. But anyways, no brag, but I got a lot of trophies from it though. Like, no brag. Anyways, no order. But I did karate too, so like it doesn't really matter. I did both of them, but who really cares about me like that? I'm sad. I'm upset. I'm upset. I'm triggered. But anyways, Naruto decides he no. So and he has a black pants with bandages at the ankles with black shinobi shoes. That's what Naruto's wearing. And the shirt that Yukimaru weared is completely snow white like his hair. And Naruto's eyes is blue with a slit in it. If you want to refresh, go back. And he says for the bone release to come out of his body easier, he's gonna need pieces of his skin. So you can get it back to me in a week. But Naruto says no problem. He then pulls out a antimantium bone sword thingy and starts to slice off his skin. But the person there sees as he's slicing off his skin is healing back. So you realize it is no problem to Naruto, mainly because his skin can heal right back right after he does it. So he's kind of weirded out by it, but he still does it anyways. Cause yeah, Naruto goes and he gives the person his skin. Really? Yeah, I know it's weird, but it has to work because I don't want Naruto being out here like having to buy clothes every day. He says he wants 24 pairs, and the man says, "I'll give them for you to free Naruto." Naruto says, "Don't worry about that. Y'all guys need the money, so like, yeah." He cries a little bit and understands that. Thanks, Naruto. Naruto leaves and he goes out the door, going back to the house. Kakashi remarks on how much he looks like Minato. His his strength emanated Minato, but the Bone Genkai was weird. But Naruto said he has to go and train because Naruto has all the memories of the other Naruto, the Bone Release Naruto. I'm gonna call him that for now. The Bone Release. This is not Naruto, the Hatred Naruto. They're two different entities. The Hatred Naruto can roam freely, but he couldn't. So, meh. So let me explain more into Bone Kekkei Naruto. Bone Kekkei Naruto was originally a part of Naruto, so it was his personality that was supposed to be his personality. But like I said, the council sealed away some sealed away put a seal on Naruto so Naruto would could slowly die. But this this messed up. Well, he didn't. The person that did it didn't know what they were doing, so they ended up stealing away Naruto's Kekkei Genkai, his learning speed, his personality. So basically, Naruto was set to be a prodigy in the first place, a generational prodigy, but they sealed away that, so he didn't become one. So people like Sakura's mom, all of them did some bullshit. So Naruto's basically Minato was born released, but young as fuck, drippy as fuck. Okay, as much as I hate Sasuke and Orochimaru, they were drippy though. Like, to be honest, they were drippy. Like, they had the most drip in the series. To me, like, they had the most drip. Like, and that's no cap. Like, they had drip. Kimaru had drip. Damn, it's only Naruto with his jumpsuit ass and got no drip. But the only drip that I respect from Naruto is the Sage Mode drip. Like when he first came back to the village after learning Sage Mode. Okay, I have to give him that. He had drip there. He was like he was drippy there. Anyways, the good old days. Oh, and his his six paths drip. Yeah, that shit was lit as fuck. That was the most drippiest Naruto we ever seen. But we see this Hokage Naruto. Nah, fam. Nah, fam. In the manga, yes, in the manga, that Naruto, well, he has a black shirt with orange lines. Oh god, with the orange pants. Oh my god. Okay, that Naruto is drippy too. But damn. Anyways, let's get into the video. So Naruto goes back home, meets Tazuna, but he goes out to train on his bone release. Sasuke is secretly following Naruto, but before Naruto goes, Kakashi asks what's happened to him. But Naruto wouldn't have any reason to hide this, or had any reason to hide anything towards this, because it wasn't his fault, and it was kind of the council's fault that it just appeared randomly. So they were all sitting on the table, even Haku, because she's a shinobi, she would understand what's going on. And she has a Kekkei Genkai of herself, so and Naruto sees her and kind of blushes, but it's like he doesn't even notice he blushed, right? Man. Anyways, Naruto goes. So they all sit around the table, right? So yeah. So he was gonna text me. He didn't start from the beginning. When Sasuke left me there to die, and he put emphasis on that, and Kakashi looked at Sasuke, but Sakura did not care, and Kaku looked at Sasuke with menacing eyes. Bruh. And Naruto just... But he went off from that. He said, I went to a place. I called my mindscape or whatever. And I saw myself chained up to a meteor of sorts, whatever that was. He explained to me that whenever I slept, he woke up. And the fact he was learning from me and he was training for me. He was getting chakra control for me. And he was training all two of my Kekkei Genkais for me. He was learning for me, so like I didn't really have to do anything. And he told me that when we were kids, that the civilian council put a seal on me so I could slowly die. But the person who did it had no understanding of seals at all. So they kind of sealed away my Keke Genkais, my two Keke Genkais, some of my emotion, and my power, my understanding speed, my chakra control. It took away a lot of stuff from me. So then Kakashi realizes that's why you couldn't use chakra properly. You straight up couldn't use it because they took away chakra control from you. Naruto sadly nods his head. Kakashi understands why Naruto is so bad at chakra control now because he literally cannot do it. He couldn't do it before, mainly because it was sealed away from him. And then he says about the hero and the speed and the strength and the understanding. Naruto explains that was all because of him. He was doing everything I should have been doing, but I had no one to train him. But he trained himself. I feel pretty weak. Well, past me. Then they said past me. He said that before he told me that we had to fuse so you could unlock his full potential. The seal that was there is broken now, so yeah. And we fused. Our personalities fused. His personality is cold and doesn't have a non-caring personality. But I, my past self, was always kind, joyful, and just happy in general and naive. But when we both came together, we gained a nonchalant personality. We don't care. We're not mad. We're not cold. We're just meh. I understand now. And Haku is just admiring Naruto. Naruto had a whole different personality in his body. You know how cool that sounds. You had another personality in your body that was doing shit for you, like that you should have been doing, but it kind of wasn't Naruto. All two of them are are Naruto, and then he understands now. Sasuke give a smart remark saying, "That's why you're always late, dope, for everything." Naruto says, "At least I'm not as late as Kakashi. At least I'm not as arrogant as you too." Sasuke got mad. He tried to insult Naruto, but it didn't kind of didn't work. But Naruto said he was going to train, although his other self did training for him. He kind of doesn't know all of them how it works properly. He just needs to go and test them out. He knows all the abilities, but he needs to test them out. Akashi says, "I'll help you," and he says, "Team training. We're staying here for at least 3 more weeks, so we got time." And the bridge already finished, thanks to your shadow clones. So yeah, he, Haku, 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 he, Sakura, Sasuke, and Kakashi went in the forest with Naruto. Naruto went in and he started to said bone drill, and a bone drill appeared around Naruto's hand. He said bone drill adamantium, and cracks appeared, and then out of those cracks came a liquid wrapping around the bone drill. Kakashi asked what was that. He explained that the other him said also that his bone release undergoed a Keke Genka, a mutation. Kakashi then says mutations normally happen when two bloodlines fuse and they kind of don't interact too well, so one of them must mutates. Naruto then says that's probably because of the Uzumaki clan. Sasuke says the Uzumaki clan. Kakashi then sighs and then tells them to come with Naruto included. He retracts his bone drill. He will start training later. They sit around Kakashi, and Kakashi then says, "The Uzumaki clan was once one of the strongest clans in Konoha. Well, not Konoha, but the world. They were not a part of any village per se, but they were good friends to Konoha. One day, the clan was massacred. When Kakashi said that, Naruto got a little sad at that. Sasuke then saw that Naruto got sad and asked him why he gets sad. He had no attachment to the clan, unlike him. the elite Uchiha. You shouldn't be feeling anything. Naruto then looked at Sasuke with a glare, then spoke. Although I might have not known my clan, but imagine the stuff they could have done for me. I would have been completely alone if they didn't die. And for matter of fact, I could have lived a good life. I could have lived perfectly. I could have got away from the village. All they hate, their abuse. I could have got away from that. That's why I'm sad, Sasuke. You at least got to know your clan. You got to know your family. Don't come here and say, oh, I shouldn't be feeling pain. You don't know how it feels not to have a family ever. Sasuke sees this. He's right. He never knew how not having a family felt. Period. Felt because he had his mother and father before, but Naruto never had them. He didn't understand how Naruto could feel like that because he thought Naruto didn't really care about his parents, but it seemed like he did care about his parents, but it's just the fact that he never really showed it. Sasuke kind of got sent after that, but his pride that his elite Uchiha didn't calm down. But Kakashi went on. They were rivals to the Uchiha and Senju clan, being better than the Uchiha clan. Not just snickered at that one. And Sasuke said, "What?" Sasuke, you have to remember, the Uzumaki clan had way more members. So if Uzumaki and Uchiha had gone into a fight, who you think would win? They had a whole village. You had a compound. Sasuke calms down a little bit because he understands where Kakashi's coming from. They mainly had a compound and they had a whole entire freaking village full of Uzumakis. So if it came to odds, Uzumaki would win numbers, and they also had Kekkei Genkai, so it's not like they were useless or anything. So he takes a seat, but he says they would only win because they have the numbers. If it was a one-on-one fight and everything was even, they would lose. Well, then Kakashi said, that's iffy. The Uzumaki were perfect at stealing ninjutsu. And Sasuke stares at that one. This is something to get back on Naruto. Then Sasuke said, Naruto, your clan is preferably known for stealing jutsu, and you couldn't even realize a seal that was on your mind. Ha! Stupid dope. Naruto had no comeback for that one because honestly he didn't know if it was there but then he said something. Sasuke, I don't know if you forgot, but it kind of took my intelligence too. Like, I couldn't have noticed it. If I had my intelligence back, I probably could have noticed it. Sasuke says probably, but you might have not. Anyways, so they go out of talking. The Uzumaki clan was a great clan, and some of the members had unique abilities. Ability that you use, Naruto. What? He said. Heal bite, which is if a person bites you, they can heal and recover some of their chakra reserves. Naruto says it doesn't really affect him because it doesn't really affect him. So yeah, it doesn't really affect him merely because he's super healing. So it doesn't really affect him at all. Some of them had a very high sensory ability, and some could really use sound genjutsu. Sasuke said sound genjutsu. They could play a flute, and they could use the flute to mind control people, or they could use the flute to cast illusions. Sasuke then said, understood. Naruto went back to his training. He created the adamantium bone drill, and then sliced a tree clean off with just the tip of the bone drill. With just the tip of the bone drill. He then created his claws and then starts to cut down trees rapidly. He then says adamantium bone bullets, and the tips of his fingers sprout out and go through trees. Like it goes up to 20 trees and then sticks in a tree. Not to create bone swords, and then starts to slice off trees left and right. Kakashi then told him to spar with his clones, with a multitude of his clones. Of course, they'll be holding back, but see if you could fight people like you did before, fight a lot of people at once. Then Kakashi creates 20 clones and sits back on a tree, gathering chakra so he doesn't fall asleep like he normally does. He then decides to go. Then Naruto's finger twitches, and then Naruto runs towards them. Naruto extends his bones out of his body. He creates two bone swords and pelts two of them towards two clones. The clones didn't have any time to react, and they stick into both of them, dispelling them. So hold up, guys. So then Naruto runs up to another Kakashi clone and slices their heads off. Then he jumps between one's leg and shoots a adamantium bone bullet in the back of his head, dispelling that one. He then says, "Bones scatter," and then a multitude of other bones come out of Naruto's body and pierce the the Kakashi the Kakashi clones. Naruto then flips out a way of a fireball coming from one of the Kakashi clones. He then runs up behind the Kakashi clone and stabs it. He then grabs the Kakashi clone's head and pinned it to the floor. Others came to get Naruto, seeing a vulnerable moment where he had to pin down a clone. He then shoots adamantium bones out of the back of his body, piercing the clones. Then there was just one left. Naruto felt a spark in him. He then made a adamantium bone drill, but something happened. Lightning starts around the bone drill, on pure instinct. Naruto ran, and in a blink of a second, the bone drill was in the Kakashi clone's heart. Well, you couldn't really say so because it was taking out a chunk of its skin, but then the Kakashi clone dispersed. Naruto then slipped out of the way. Kakashi congratulated Naruto on defeating his clones and said they'll be doing some more training tomorrow. Then Naruto went to see the progress on his clothes, and some of them was already made, but they had like a few more to make, so he thanked the person anyways. Today was the day that they were supposed to go and check out Garo's hideout. When they went to Garo's hideout, Naruto made Gato send over all the money he had to him. He gave half of it, which was billions of dollars, to the wave, and then the other billions of dollars to him. Since he killed all the men, it was rightfully his. Sakura said it should have gone to Sasuke, but Naruto told her that he killed all of them, so it's his money. So, like, yeah. When they were searching through Naruto's belongings, no, they saw a scroll with the Uzumaki symbol on it. And then saw the scroll that says Uzumaki savings. When Kakashi saw this, he gave it to Naruto. Naruto didn't know how to open it. Sasuke tried to open it, but it didn't work. Naruto then tried something, and he slit his finger. It was nearly just about to heal back, but Naruto placed it on the seal before it could, and the seal opened like a GIF. I saw the kanji for money. He locked it back and put it in his pocket and sealed the rest of the money in scrolls for himself. he gave some of the money to Sasuke and Sasuke, but none for Sakura because he didn't really give a fuck. He likes Sasuke more than he likes Sakura. And Sasuke is a whining bitch all the fucking time, but he straight up doesn't like her. Which Sakura thought she would get some because Naruto actually loved her at point. Naruto didn't explain that was his old self. That was not him. Well, that was a part of him, anyways. Not anything anymore. Naruto then left. I went outside. We time skip. Naruto had got his clothes made for him. He could freely use his bone release in his clothes. He doesn't need to take them off anyway. Take them off. Holes appeared when the clothes predicted what bone he was going to use. That's like what it did, and it just opened a hole so the bones could go through. So he could have on his shirt and still. So Naruto's wearing Kimimara's white shirt but a black rope instead of a purple one. But the black rope is tied like a karate belt instead of a bun, like a whatever tie that is, like we see in the back, like we see here. And now he has black shoes with bandages on his ankles. So yeah. After a few days of them training, I learned how to water walk. Like yeah, they except Sakura because she doesn't have enough chakra to water walk. But Naruto and Sasuke have enough chakra, and Haku already knows how to. Naruto and Sakura, Naruto, Sakura, Haku, and Kakashi go back to the village. Now, before they go, Naruto presents Kakashi with a present of sorts. Kakashi is now wearing a white sleeve like his father. Remember the white and red sleeve that Tsukumo Hatake had? That white sleeve with the flamed, that looks like a Hokage cloak on one side. He has that now. Naruto pulled out a scroll as Kakashi unsealed the scroll to see the white fang blade, or the blade, the white fang blade, right? The white saber. That's what it was called. Sorry. Kakashi asked how Naruto got it. Naruto said that he saw that Kakashi had a skull and was broken. He infused his metal mutation, whatever it is, in with the sword. So the sword is no antimateam and lets off a white slicing saber thing. What the saber did before. So it would never break again. So Kakashi grabs the Tanto, I think it was a sword, but anyways, he grabs it and puts it on his back like his father did. He looks more like his father now than in canon. And he's Sharingan. Naruto he told him to like try something. Naruto took out the eye and made Kakashi bite him all through the process. So Kakashi was biting Naruto's hand, and Naruto was putting his blood into Kakashi's eye socket, and he put he controlled the little tiny bones mechanisms in the Sharingan. There was tiny bones in the Sharingan. So yeah, the tiny bones to rearrange it. I took Kakashi's blood and put it on some of the bones and rearranged the Sharingan. And voila, Naruto put the Sharingan right back in Kakashi's eye, and when he put it back, the eye went black because it's the original form. So then Kakashi tried to put chakra in it, and his Tritomoe Sharingan appeared once again. Naruto told him that he just fixed some stuff, and he gave him more chakra than he had before. So Kakashi is on the level of a Sannin. He's near the level to a Sannin. So yeah, Kakashi finally feels like he could put the sash on, because before he didn't want to put on the special Jonin sash because he didn't think he was worthy of it because he could go down easily. But no, and he wants to change his name in the bingo book, so he's gonna do that when he get back to the village. So they all go back to the village. So he put on the red sash, and so Kakashi looks pretty cool now. Like, He cut his hair a little bit so he looks like the Kakashi we see in Naruto. So like, and he has his headband up, not covering one eye. He looks pretty saucy. Like he be dripping. So they come back from the mission. Every look, no, only Naruto and Kakashi look different, really. Anyways, so Naruto goes and so they go to the Hokage's office and explain everything that happened to Hiruzen. In doing so, to Hiruzen. Sorry. They explain everything that happened to Hiruzen, and and Hiruzen understands what happened, understands that Kakashi is basically an Uchiha now, and that Naruto has a new Bone Genkai mutation with his chakra chains. I understand the split personality, and he's pretty mad at the civilian council. So at some point he's gonna bring this up, and he's gonna like disband the civilian council and just make the Shinobi council instead, and get rid of his advisors because the advisors are a part of the civilian council too. So he will just get new advisors. So yeah. So Kakashi. So everyone got stronger except Sakura because she's weak as fuck. Even making Sasuke stronger. Damn it. So they get told about the training exams and everything from there happens to canon. So now Haku has to live next door to Naruto, but she wants to be able to go in to Naruto's apartment. So Naruto has an idea. He takes out a bone sword and slices a hole in between their walls because they're neighbors. Slices a hole in between their walls so she can come true. Okay, so later on in the night, Naruto goes over in her room, but she was dressing at the time. He says sorry, but she was naked and he sees everything, like everything. He started to blush unknowingly, but he said sorry in a very calm tone. I started to walk off, but Haku told him to wait. She put on her outfit, her ninja outfit that we first see her have on, but the kimono is kind of open. It's kind of open, so yeah. So you can see some of her cleavage, so yeah. Haku then grabs Naruto's hand and carries him to the bed. He then starts to make out with Naruto, but Naruto has no expression on his face. He's just making out with Haku. And Naruto's getting into it. Then they go on the bed and they start kissing, and Haku starts to take off Naruto's shirt. Starts to take off Naruto's shirt. Haku starts to scratch Naruto like scratch Naruto's body. Naruto then takes the initiative and flips over Haku and then puts his foot in between her legs and starts to make out with her even more. He then pulls out Haku and pushes her towards the let's say the table. Pushes her towards the table. Then he lifts up her kimono partially. He then takes off her panties, and then he pulls on his pants, and he pushes his dick into her, right. This is Ethan. Why am I being so nervous about this? Damn. Where's my nigga? Anyways, Naruto pushes his dick right in there, but Haku has got his glizzy right into Haku, right? And Naruto's going back and forth with no emotion on his face really, but Haku has a lot of emotions. Like tiny tears are coming out of Haku's eyes, and her eyes are rolling back, and her tongue is out of her mouth. Like her tongue is under her mouth, and Naruto just going in it, bro. It's like he had years experience, but he didn't. Anyways, He keeps going in, and then he starts to pull on Haku's hair. Haku Haku's moaning even more. Well, I would like people to notice that in Naruto's apartment, no one else lives there, so they don't have to worry about noise, because no one else lives in Naruto's apartment building, anyways. So they don't have to worry about making noise. So they don't have to worry about making noise. So yeah. So they're just going in it and just like Naruto just hitting from the back real quick, and then he pulls Haku and he pushes Haku on the table. He lifts her Haku, and she's like facing him, and he kissing her, and he puts her on the table, and Haku kind of like starts to like jerk him off, like, if you know what I mean. If you don't know anything I was saying, you don't belong here, cause I said this in a while. I'm cooking in the kitchen. If it's too hot, get out the kitchen. Anyways, she starts to like jerk off Naruto, and while they're kissing, then Haku like squirts. If you know what I said, if you know what squirt means, if you don't, I don't know why your hair is still. But anyways, squirt. Let's say she comes, cause like yeah. Anyways, Naruto pulls out. Well, no, he wasn't pulling anything. Anyways, she just squirts, and she kind of gets on her knees and give Naruto that God guiding 1,000. Then Naruto pulls it all of her mouth and just like comes all over her face, like, damn. Then they go to sleep. Well, they finish up and Naruto sleeps on Haku's bed. Then they wake up, but Naruto wakes up way before Haku and goes back over to his apartment, freshens up, put on his new drip, and put on his headband. He wasn't wearing his headband for a long period of time. So he kind of looks like Minato. His hair looks like Minato's, but his hair is white instead of yellow, instead like that. So they go to the academy. If you didn't know, that's where the first stage of the tuning exam was held, in the Konoha Academy. So yeah. So they go into the academy. They still meet Rock Lee, but Naruto doesn't engage Rock Lee. Actually, he's pretty nonchalant when seeing Naruto. When Lee was fighting Sasuke, she could see that Naruto was following his every movement, even if it was Sharingan. Lee then said she wanted to fight Naruto. Naruto just nonchalantly said okay, and then Lee ran towards Naruto. But Naruto dodged each and every strikes that Lee put towards him. Everyone was seeing this. Naruto was dodging him with minimal effort. Lee then took off his weights, but same thing happened. He let them down gently, so no one knows how much weights they were. But even then, Naruto was just straight up messing with Lee. He was playing with him, really. He started to block, and then Lee tried to punch Naruto dead in the face, but Naruto just caught his hand and kicked him in his belly, kicked him in his gut, making Lee skid across the floor. Naruto then grabbed Lee's hand and imparted some chakra into Lee, giving him a temporary connection to Lee. Lee started to cough up blood violently, and for some reason his body got thicker. His skin became thicker. Basically, I did what I did in Madara Descendant. I gave Lee an outer shell, like an inner shell, to protect his bones, and if the bones like break off, they would just disintegrate. But I didn't give him adamantium bones. Don't worry. So Lee got an outer shell, and he kind of fixed Lee's face. So Lee's eyes is normal. His hair grows normally, so some of it sheds off. And Lee has kind of like a fade Levi cut, kind of. And everyone sees this happen to Lee. But Lee then jumps up saying, "My power of youth," and Lee just looks stunning. And Tenten actually gets a little blush. Yes, I'm doing it again. We all know Neji has to die. Okay, Neji has to die. So I kind of can't like gotta give Tenten something. Anyways, so Lee kind of looks like crispy, bruh. He looks some crispy. He look crispy. Anyways, so they go to the room. But when Naruto enters the room, to, a grayish blur and a purple blur jump onto Naruto. Then when people focus, they say Hinata hugging Naruto from the waist from the waist down, and Ino hugging Naruto's neck. All two of them say Naruto-kun, and Naruto with a nonchalant face says, "Yeah." Everyone's shocked, but doesn't Naruto realize that they like him? No, this has been a recurring fact even ever since the academy. Naruto was dense as fuck, and Ino and Hinata constantly showed Naruto that they liked him, but Naruto was too dense and unknowing to notice it. He likes them, yes, but know that they like him, not really. They get so like they go back, and Ki and Kabuto, snake ass nigga. Kabuto comes and he shows them the card thingy majob, jibby jabba thing. I don't know. He shows them the card thing and reads up. Sasuke answers for Gaara, which they met before. Asks up for Rock Lee. Asks for Naruto Uzumaki. And asks for, who else would he ask for? Let's say Haku Yuki. First up is Gaara. Gaara descent. Like he did all his missions and then he never got squashed on any of them. He is from Suna, and he's the son of the fourth Kage. Rock Lee. He has no ninjutsu, no genjutsu, has no skill in ninjutsu, genjutsu, but has a lot of skill in taijutsu. Naruto comments he also has an outer shell, an inner shell in his body, which can shield him, so it makes any attack that's towards him useless. I did that not too long ago when we were fighting Lee. Lee said, "Oh yes, that's what it was, Naruto. Thank you, power of youth." Which, so Kabuto corrects himself and says he also has an outer shell. Whatever, right? So people are surprised Naruto could do that. The only reason Naruto could do that is because Lee technically has no chakra. If he did it to anybody else, his Keke Genkai would go wild, and it would kind of like take over the body. You remember how Danzo, when he was using Hashirama's arm, how a tree started to sprout from it because it wasn't his original body? Yeah, that's gonna happen. That would happen to Lee if he had chakra. But since he has none, it perfectly bonded with Lee. So yeah. So Naruto goes and Naruto goes and he sits down. So the other person was Naruto. Kabuto explains he was the dead last in that he was no he was the second last in his academy, had no skill for chakra control, had nothing, had basically was a failure. But recently his stats changed. He has high affinity in he has high chakra control, high chakra manipulation, two Keke Genkais of the Uzumaki clan and the Kaguya clan. He's a part of the Uzumaki clan and the Kaguya clan. Two very prestige clans. Has a mutation with his bloodline, making his bloodline being developed in something called antimantium, which above further research is one of the strongest metals people have ever seen. Yeah. Kabuto surprised at this. Orochimaru, no. Someone wrote the scrolls getting information when Naruto has done his checkup because of his new awakening of his Kagegenkai all of a sudden, so he had to get checked up. So people like wrote this down after. I says he's gained high taijutsu ability after getting this stuff, high intelligence, over average healing ability, like way over average healing ability, strength, strength increase, speed increase, and stamina increase. Everyone's shocked. The Konoha 11 is shocked. But and Hinachi said, "My Naruto-kun is so strong." You see, Haku is not here. She is by the medical center. She's already a Chunin, so like yeah. She's at the medical center doing some stuff. Anyways, so Naruto goes and he goes so he does the written test and everything goes to Kenning, but Naruto answers every question, getting and beating his father's high score. Like I think he should have done in canon, but a he beat his father's score, which is Minato. He beat Minato's score for the highest exam thingy, whatever. I don't know. He then Uncle comes, and everything from there happens to canon. But this is where some spices is gonna come up not too far from here. So guys, if the kitchen's too hot, get out the kitchen, buddy. It's time to get down and dirty. Anyways, so Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura goes out into the wilderness. Naruto says he has to go and take a leak, and he goes to take the leak. In that time, people come and attack Naruto. Naruto easily kills them because he can kill them. He takes the scrolls. He killed all three of them actually, which was Awa Ninja if you want to, Iwa Ninja, which was Stone Ninja. He take the scrolls, and they particularly went for him because he looks like the fourth Hokage. The fourth Hokage. Okay, let me explain something about the Minato. Minato still had blue eyes, and but he had white hair. No, he had yellow hair, but some of it was white. And his bones was already strong, but Minato never really unlocked the Kekkei Genkai. So he knew he was a Yuki, and he did tell the third Hokage, but he never unlocked the Kekkei Genkai of the Kaguya clan, and that's why he was expelled from the clan and sent to Konoha. But they later regretted when he became the yellow flash of the leaf. But anyways, wait, all two Naruto clans are extinct though. Like no cap, all two of them. There's only about 3 members in the world, which is including Naruto. Damn. And there's only like 2. Yeah, there are only 2 members besides Naruto and the Uzumaki clan. Damn. Damn, Naruto. Well, that we know of, but I haven't introduced yet. Man, maybe Naruto might get his clan back. Maybe. No sweat, no sweat, no sweat, no sweat. So Naruto goes and he goes and he takes the scroll, which was the scroll that they needed, but it also had another person's. So they had both of the scrolls. They had both of their scrolls, but they just wanted to kill Naruto because he looked like the fourth Hokage. Naruto did look like the fourth Hokage, and he was the fourth Hokage's son, but okay. So Naruto looks like, so yeah. Naruto goes back, and there was impersonation Naruto. It was not Orochimaru, it was someone else. Then Naruto killed that person right in front of Sasuke and Sakura's face, with the bone retreating into their skulls. With the bone retreating out of the person's head, the person dropped onto the floor, and they saw the real Naruto. Naruto left the bone sword in his head because he didn't really need it. So yeah, but he did snap his fingers and it burnt away. And yes, Naruto can't do this because if I'll just leave Antimantium just there roaming around. People are gonna use it for weapons. So Naruto severed the connection to Kakashi's sword. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah. Naruto left. So then they go on and they're going um to the what's it called now, to the end of the tuning exams where Orochimaru comes. He throws a wing blast, disturbing everyone, impersonating Naruto, but he doesn't know Naruto has the one Genkai. When Naruto comes to kill Orochimaru like he did to the other one, Naruto makes a bone drill, but before he could kill, before the it could kill Orochimaru, which Orochimaru was caught off guard and he was surprised. He summoned a snake and Naruto sliced the snake right in half. Orochimaru knew that Kimaru couldn't slice anyone in any snake that he had in half. You could damage it, yes, but his bone drill wasn't that strong that it would just slice the thing in half by just the tip of the drill. He saw that it was covered with a metal alloy. And when he threw a kunai at it, Naruto blocked it. The kunai broke on contact. Naruto then ran towards Orochimaru, slicing at him wildly. He then did a backflip. Orochimaru remembered that backflip. That there's a backflip that Kimaru would do. Then he realized Naruto fought exactly like how Kimaru did. And he capitalized on that. He'd been training with Kimaru for years, so you know Kimaru's moves in and out. Also with his sister. So and all three of them fought the same way. So there wasn't any surprises that Naruto could pull off. But he did realize that Naruto's bone release was way more powerful than theirs. And his body was way more better than them. He didn't want to take Kimaru's sister because he didn't want to be a girl. And she was perfectly fine, but Kimaru was different. Kimaru was different. He was sick. Naruto then something started to protrude out of Naruto's like neck. Well, no. Okay, Naruto just pulled out his spine and used it as a whip. He starts to whip around Orochimaru. Orochimaru barely escaping any of Naruto's whips, but one caught his leg and sliced it cleaned off. Orochimaru then regurgitated himself and just started to caught Naruto off guard and bit him on the neck, giving him the heavenly curse mark. Unlike Kimamaru, he gave it on his neck and not his chest, or not the middle of his chest. So he has the heavenly curse mark just like Sasuke. And Sasuke got a curse mark too, just in case he couldn't get Naruto. Which he had a pretty good idea that he couldn't, but anyways. Sakura still carried Naruto and Sasuke back. She needed Naruto to protect her and Sasuke if Sasuke couldn't fight. She was just being petty and selfish, but anyways. The Sound Ninja came and she offered to give up Naruto but leave Sasuke. And they were just gonna take Sasuke after, but yeah. When they tried to take Naruto's eyes snapped open. But let's flash back. Let's flash back. Naruto was in his mind state and he saw Orochimaru, where his other self was before. Orochimaru saw that the seal that was there, it was still there, but it was open. He started to implant the curse mark into the meteor. Naruto then went up to Orochimaru. Orochimaru, not noticing that Naruto was there, killed him. but he infused the power into the meteor and then broke. And when he felt like it stabilized, broke the meteor. So this gives him access to version 2. Gives him access to version 2, 1. No, he gets access for version 1 and 2 mode of the curse mark. So when Naruto, let me snap back to. Then we get to the flashback. We see Naruto eyes snap open, his eyes being red with the QB app, but a purple aura surrounding Naruto. Naruto got up. This bloodless and killing intent knocked out Sakura cold. He went behind Dosu and pulled back his hands, breaking them out of place. He was just about to rip them off, but then 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 he killed. Then he saw the other boy, the other Soul Ninja, come towards him. Naruto flipped up in the air and sent an adamantium bone into his leg, knocking him out of the pain. Then he saw the girl member, and he got a lustful smile on his face. But someone else sensed the Orochimaru's curse chakra from Orochimaru. Sasuke is still asleep. When Naruto saw the girl member of the team, I think her name was Kim. I think it was Kim. Kim. Kim before thought that Naruto was cute, and she wouldn't mind if Naruto kind of hit that from the back, but she couldn't do it. No, because she's probably gonna do it when Naruto's unconscious. Because Naruto looks scrumptious, bro. All the girls wants this nigga now. Like everyone, this man looks like a whole ass snack. So you could just make a girl switch her emotions up. Like when Naruto went behind Kim, I think that's her name, anyways. He then put his hand down to her. Let's call it her peach for now, right? He put his hand in her pants. Yeah, he just put his hand in her. So, like I said, he was putting his hand down in her pants, right? And she was moaning, but Naruto tilted his body towards her, and he started to kiss her, and she started to moan even more. Honestly, she got liked it. Naruto then pushed her against a tree and kind of pulled down her pants, right? He then started to kiss her more, and then he went for the back. He went at the back and he pushed his dick into like her pussy. Why am I so nervous when I talk about this shit? Anyways, okay. He put his dick in her pussy, right? And then started to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He pulled her hands. So she was moaning even more. Then he started to pull her hair until he came on her, but he took it out because his pillow getting too strong for that. He pulled it out and just like squirt like thing on her back. Then she dropped unconscious. Yeah, Naruto was like that good that he made her like unconscious. Then Anko Mitarashi came seeing Naruto just like that, and Naruto got another smirk on his face. This was about to be fun, he said in his head. He then went behind Anko. He kicked in her leg, making her kneel. Then he came in front of her, and then pushed his dick into her mouth, right? He then made her head go back and forth. Remember, Naruto is not in the right state of mind. Normal Naruto would have never done this, but remember, this is curse mark influenced Naruto with his hormones all in the fucking bunch. So, So he made Uncle, and Uncle kind of liked it because she liked it rough. He started to pull her hair back and just like, right? And then started to grow her breasts, right? And just started to fondle them. He then lifted her up by the knees and just like lifted her up to his chest. Then started to like make her bounce on his like dick while standing up. Yeah. Anyways, he then made then he made her suck his dick again, and she knocked out after that. But then Naruto knocked out right with her, and then Anko left. She got up before Naruto, and she left the area and went somewhere else. Right? Kim already left because she woke up before Anko, and she grabbed her teammates and they left. Naruto woke up, and well, Sasuke woke up. In there, Naruto woke up too, and he was able to stop Sasuke. But he realized that he was chakra. His chakra was kind of messed with, but it wasn't as bad as Sasuke's. Mainly because he unlocked all of his farms and his curse mark's not bothering him. But he still takes some chakras to. It's still siphon off some chakra so you can give it. It would heal up in the 5 days. So yeah. So they go to the tower and hand in the scrolls, and yeah. Kim and them still pass, but whenever she looks at Naruto, she kind of blushes heavily. But to be honest, Naruto remembers none of this. Like he doesn't remember like not abusing, because they technically did enjoy Naruto beating the brakes off of them, like fucking the brakes off of them. So like I want to call it like rape, because Kim was already she was basically thinking to rape Naruto, but the one to others like you do one to them. Like I don't really know what to classify as. Like classify it as rape or classify it as sex. I don't know, but I don't think it's rape. So because they enjoyed it and they went along with it, and Naruto was in his right state. He wasn't in the right state of mind, so it's allowed. It's allowed. It's allowed. It's allowed. Anyways, so Naruto left and they went into exams. No, the only cover fight I'm gonna cover is Naruto faces Kiba, and every fight is gonna go to the same, so I don't need to cover it. Naruto faces Kiba, and I'm gonna do one more spicy scene, and then I'm just like, gonna go back in. Naruto goes in the arena. He jumps into the arena. Kiba thinks it's gonna be easy. He thinks Kabuto was lying when he said Naruto unlocked the Kekkei Genkai. Naruto just pulled out two bone swords in his hand, just in case he needed them. He then dodged Kiba without any effort. Kiba even used the thing over thing, but then he turned his dog into himself, right? And then they ran towards Naruto using hand-to-hand combat, just like straight hands to hands. Naruto jumped on. They tried to punch Naruto, all two of them at the same time. Tried to punch Naruto. Naruto jumped on their hands and then stabbed them in the legs with his bones. So Naruto double kicked them in the face, and in doing that, win the match. Now everything from there went to canon, and when Neji tried to kill Hinata, Naruto boxed the fuck out of who his name is, Neji. Neji was like, no, my destiny is not to be ever beaten. And Naruto was like, for that thing, you touch my girl, I'm gonna lay hands on you, and I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. And that's no cap. And he just started to like, he impaled Neji's legs with antimateria bones. He stuck to the ground until Naruto decides he's not gonna be there anymore. But people like Rock Lee, like Mike Guy and Kakashi could take out the rods, but no one else can like pull them out. And actually, Naruto decides to break them in Neji's body. He can like literally make Neji's legs come off. Like if he decides to break them inside of his body, it could destroy Neji's legs permanently. So they would have to get cut off. So Naruto goes over there, Hinata, and let Hinata bite him. And Hinata bites him, and yeah. Hinata bites Naruto, and she goes back to full strength. Not full strength, but she has a little chakra drain, but nothing too heavy. But kick Sakura's ass. Like no, I don't allow that. kicked Sakura's ass. And Sakura's pretty mad, but anyways. Remember, they're still friends because does not like Sasuke. So, yeah. Naruto would start beating on. Yeah, actually, no, that'll be it. It will be 1 month training, but before the 1 month training ends, two people visit Naruto's apartment. Haku is there also. But they go to Haku's room and they enter Naruto's home. Naruto's on the bed sleeping. Then he finds two people sitting like close to him. He wonders why he didn't sense them, but then he realizes they have chakra suppression seals. So he couldn't sense them because he was in a deep slumber. He'll make sure to fix that when he realizes who these people are. One was on top of him, and two others was on each side of him. When he moved the covers to see who was on top of him, it was Hinata. Hinata with her long, blackish, purplish hair laid down on Naruto's chest. Her her top half being completely naked. Being her top half completely naked too, and Haku being completely naked. They then started to Naruto then understand what this was, and started to fondle like Hinata's breasts, which were pretty big at this time. Then also he started to kiss Hinata. Hinata then rose up and she took off her panties. Right? No, she was wearing a dress and she had no panties under. She then took off Naruto's like pants and like started to ride and bounce on Naruto's dick. Right? Haku was like Haku was kissing Naruto and was kissing Hinata. Right? The double shit. Some that shit. Anyways. So Naruto decided to not he decided. He went and he no Hinata squirted. If you know what squirt is, yeah. Hinata squirted. And then she was knocked out. Like she was having the time of her life. And Hinata's shy by nature. So she would not last that long. But then it was Ino's turn. Damn. That bitch had some head game. She had some net game. God damn. Anyways. So I would believe that would have some really good head game. Like I believe would have really good head game. Anyways. So what been giving out Naruto that got 9,000. And Naku, well, no, she could get some many times, so she decides she's not gonna get some today, but she can get some many times because she technically lives with Naruto. So, meh. And she just cleans Naruto's house a lot, so because Naruto does not like to be clean. But anyways, Naruto kind of like comes in her mouth. What the fuck? Comes in her mouth, right? And swallows. Like she swallows it. Swallows her children. Anyways. Then starts to ride Naruto. Naruto's stamina is infinite, bro. So it doesn't really matter, bro. So Naruto hits her with the glizzy, right? But that's where I'm gonna end off this video. See you guys. This is an 18 only, so I'm sorry if you got scarred for life. It's not my problem, not my concern, because I told you at the beginning, if you couldn't handle the heat, get out the kitchen. So, see you. Bye.